bench and into the batter's box. Off the bench and filling a very big void on the diamond. Off the bench and becoming a regular in the starting lineup. Always the unknown, and always when least expected, is the role of the utility player, who could become a key part overnight or in certain situations all season long. It's a pretty special day for the Phillies fans who are down here in Clearwater. They got an opportunity to see the Phils take on the New York Yankees. And for Cody Ashe, a prospect over at third base, possibly the Phillies' third baseman of the future, he gets a chance to be in the starting lineup today here at Bright House Field. The Yankees are in town. It's the Phils and the Yankees here in Clearwater, Florida. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, joined by Chris Wheeler. The rain has subsided, at least for the moment, so we'll have baseball here this afternoon in Central Florida. And for the Phillies, they continue to tinker with their lineup. We'll talk about that a little later on. And we also get a chance to keep looking at some of these extra guys that'll be part of the Phillies roster.
Well, it's that time of the year, Tom, real early in spring training where there are a lot of extra men here right now, guys fighting for a job, guys trying to be the utility infielder on the ball club. And there's a lot of talent in camp. Kevin Franson, a guy, look at this play that he made last year at Citizens Bank Park. One of the best plays of the whole year to cut down that run at the plate. Guy really hit the ball, too. Hit this home run off Strasburg in Washington. Had one of the better batting averages in the National League late in the season. Then there's Freddie Galvis. Until he suffered that injury and then had the suspension, Freddie Galvis was amazing. They put him at second base during spring training last year to see if he could play there, and he could more than play there. He was about as good as anybody we saw all year playing second base defensively. Unfortunately, the season was cut short. Then a guy like Eric Kratz has never been on a big league roster at the beginning of the year. Made his mark last year after he came up, hit that big home run off Kimbrel, got knocked over by Chipper Jones, held onto the ball. He'll be probably the opening day catcher in that ballpark in Atlanta. Then there's Yuniesky Betancourt. He's been around forever with a lot of different teams. He can really play shortstop. Guy has never hit a whole lot in the major leagues, but a very, very good defensive player, and you see the plays that he's made so far in spring training. So there are a lot of options right now for guys to be extra men on this baseball team. You see Betancourt with some of the numbers on him right there. He's not a kid. He's 31 years old, originally signed by the Mariners. He was a Cuban defector, and he's played for a number of major league teams. But the guy can do some things.
And he's going to get a chance to play a little more shortstop in the next couple of days because Jimmy Rollins is getting ready to go to the World Baseball Classic. All right, the New York Yankees are in town. That's always exciting because they bring a lot of fans with them, and they also bring some pretty good players. The Yankees, though, a lot of changes since last year.
It used to be you sat around and said, who's going to win, the Yankees or the Red Sox? It's not that way in this division anymore. The Yankees lost a lot of guys during the offseason. They signed Kevin Youkilis, Travis Hafner as a DH. They re-signed those guys you see there on the left, some veteran players. They're getting a little bit older, too. One thing they've lost is a lot of power out of their lineup. They lost Swisher to free agency. Of course, Granderson got hurt the other day. Rodriguez is gone. They don't know if he'll even play again. Jeter isn't going to play for a little while, at least in spring training. So you're looking at a Yankees team very different than before, where they're going to have to manufacture some runs, and that sounds strange with New York.
Today, they'll have Ichiro in the starting lineup, Robinson Cano, and also Mark Teixeira for this afternoon's ballgame. Who will they face? Kyle Kendrick makes his first spring training start. Only one run so far for the starters in the first handful of games this spring. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Citizens Bank, where good banking is good citizenship. Isn't it time you experience good banking? By Xfinity, the official HD triple play provider of your Philadelphia Phillies. And by Toyota. Every new Toyota purchase comes with Toyota Care. Let's go places.
Back here at Bright House Field, the Phillies, who lost yesterday to the Detroit Tigers, will be right back at it this afternoon as they take on the New York Yankees. And getting a chance to watch Kyle Kendrick for the first time this spring. The folks are settling in. The tarp just came off the field about a half hour ago. There's Michael Young standing next to Charlie Manuel in the dugout. Michael was the DH this afternoon for the Phillies, so that means Cody Ashley gets a chance to start over at third base. Chase Utley is in the dugout. He was originally in the starting lineup, but they've decided to scratch him for today because the field is still pretty wet. So Kevin Franzen gets a chance to start over at second base for the Phillies. But nothing wrong with Chase. He played very well yesterday and moved exceptionally well in yesterday's game. Let's take a look at the Yankees starting lineup. Leading it off at shortstop, Eduardo Nunez. Ichiro will bat second in right field. Robinson Cano hits third. Mark Teixeira is over at first base. He'll bat cleanup. Travis Hafner over from the Indians is the DH. Matt Diaz battling for a spot in left field now with the injury to Curtis Granderson. He'll bat sixth. Melky Mesa seventh. Bobby Wilson over from the Angels. He'll bat eighth. And Addison Marusak is the third baseman, and he will bat ninth for the Yankees, facing Kyle Kendrick, who, I don't know, Will, something clicked for Kyle Kendrick in the second half of last year.
Well, it was that sinker changeup mix, Tom, no doubt about it. There you see the numbers on Kyle, especially the second part of the season, went very well. They put him into the starting rotation. They really needed him, and he had a very, very poor outing his first time out. And then after that, they said he goes back to changeup sinker, and it really worked for him. He had a pitch to get left-handed hitters out a little bit better. He believed in it. He didn't go completely away from his cutter, but that right now is by far pitch number 3 in his repertoire.
So Kendrick will start today. He'll pitch the first couple of innings. Aaron Cook, Chad Durbin, Zach Miner, Jeremy Horst all scheduled to pitch today, as Eduardo Nunez will lead it off for the Yankees, and the first pitch of the day is in there for a strike. So we're underway, and the count is 0-1.
Kyle comes to spring training this year. He knows what his role is, too. He's had a lot of spring trainings where he just came down here, and, well, we'll see what happens.
He wasn't sure if he would be a long man. He wasn't sure if he'd be part of the rotation. A couple of years ago, he wasn't sure if he'd even be with the club.
Right.
1 ball, 1 strike the count to Nunez, playing shortstop today, the 25-year-old. And he lines that one foul. And it's 1-2. Derek Jeter, of course, will be the everyday shortstop for the Yankees. Jeter is coming off a fractured ankle, but has begun baseball activities, taking ground balls, doing some running. He's been hitting for a little while, too. They appeal over to Eric Cooper over at first base, and he says no swing.
Think of the home runs they've lost from this lineup. And that's a team that lived and died on homers, especially in Yankee Stadium with that short porch and right.
Yeah, not only Granderson for 10 weeks with that fractured arm, but also Nick Swisher, who's on to the Indians. Little number in front of the plate. And picked up on the bare hand by Kyle Kendrick. That was not an easy play, and he threw the ball right into the base path, but Ryan Howard handled it.
Yeah, they're laughing about it a little bit, too, because all of a sudden Ryan Howard's trying to pick the ball out of the runner's shoulder and head.
Ryan shaking his head.
This thing had to get on Howard in a hurry. We talk about Kendrick doesn't throw a four-seam fastball. He threw one there.
One away. Here's Ichiro. Ichiro re-signed with the Yankees this past offseason. He signed a 2-year deal worth $13 million. Last year combined between the Yankees and the Mariners, he had $283. Still played every game and begins 2013 with 2,606 major league hits. And that doesn't even include all the damage he did over in Japan. Inside, 1-1.
Just a remarkable player. Not the guy he was, but his bat control is amazing to watch. The way he can just hang forever, it seems like, and then hit the ball.
That's back toward the middle. Rollins takes a big hop, a little pirouette, and not in time to get here. Ichiro. So an infield hit. And the Yankees have a base runner.
There was a day when he first came over from Japan where that wasn't even a play there. He could run with anybody, too, and throw. Guy's a tremendous talent.
Phillies were interested in him in this offseason. And according to several stories that Ichiro talked about, said that the Phillies offered him more money, but he wanted to go to New York.
See, he's almost running when he hits. That's another thing he's able to do. And they say he can put on a show in BP if he wants to and hit home runs at will. This is just not his game to hit the ball at the ballpark, to do what he did right there.
Well, he's aboard. Here's Robinson Cano, who swings and fouls the first pitch over toward Rich Doobie. And the count is 0-1. Cano last year hit .313 with 33 home runs and 94 runs batted in.
He had a tough postseason.
Well, he did, and his contract is expires at the end of this year. Fly ball left center field. Dominic Brown will give way to Ben Revere. You can hear Revere saying, "I got it all the way."
That's what you want, too. Your center fielder, run the guy off it.
And there are 2 outs.
Cano, of all the guys that go into a slump, it happens in postseasons. It happens to great players over the years. I don't think anybody expected it to happen to Cano, though, because he's such a good hitter and he uses the whole field so well, and he could not buy a hit.
Kept expecting him to break out as the postseason went on.
Right.
Here's Mark Teixeira. He'll be joining Jimmy Rollins over the weekend in the World Baseball Classic as part of the United States roster.
Well, the few times you ever watched Robinson Cano play and he looked like a regular player, that he had that lost look, kind of puzzled, like, what am I doing?
Hey, Kendrick delivers just a little low, and it's 1 ball and no strikes.
Now here's one of the guys left that can hit the ball at the ballpark, especially left-handed with the short porch at Yankee Stadium, but he's also strong right-handed.
24 home runs last year, 84 runs batted in, missed some time. And he lines that one down the right field line, and it hooks foul. So it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Two outs so far here at the top of the first for Kyle Kendrick. There's Joe Girardi beginning his 6th year as the manager of the Yankees. Inside, 2-1. The Yankees finished 95-67 last year and wound up losing to the Tigers in the American League Championship Series. Not only lost to them, they were swept by the Tigers. Yeah. There goes Ichiro. Pitch is taken inside. The throw by LaRue is a little late. So Suzuki's got a stolen base. And it's 3 balls and 1 strike to Mark Teixeira.
Guy's ageless when you watch him play. Ichiro Suzuki. Not the player he was, and certainly at the age now, but can do so many things above average. Look at the jump he got there. Steals that bag easily. Smart player.
Line drive down the right field line. It's hooking, and it still stays fair, so the Yankees take a 1-0 lead. It'll be an RBI double for Teixeira as he rolls into second, and Ichiro scores easily from second base. Just the second run allowed by Philly starters so far this spring. And the second hit of the spring for Teixeira. Yankees last year were 5th in batting average in the American League, 2nd in runs, but 1st in home runs. You want to talk about a home run hitter's ballpark? It is in a big way. Not only the short porch and right, but all the way around new Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, they take advantage of that.
Here's Travis Hafner.
They've been built to hit home runs. And right now, through the combination of injuries and attrition, they are not.
Yankees signed Hafner this offseason. Spent all of his career with the Cleveland Indians. Had 12 home runs, 34 RBIs last year. Lines it back toward the middle. Rollins is there to get it. He might have a chance, and does, to get Hafner at first. And the side is retired. That ball is right off the end of the bat of Travis Hafner. But the Yankees do score a run on an RBI double by Mark Teixeira. Phillies will look for the first time when we come back. As we go to the bottom of the first inning, let's take a look at his starting lineup for this afternoon's ball game. Leading it off at shortstop, Jimmy Rollins. Ben Revere bats second. Kevin Franzen playing second base today. He'll hit third, followed by Ryan Howard and Michael Young. Dominic Brown's in left field. He'll bat sixth. In the bottom third of Nix, Ashe, and Steven LaRue. And they'll face 23-year-old right-hander Jose Ramirez, who last year in Single A was 7-6 with an earned run average of 3.19 for the Tampa Yankees. He is from the Dominican Republic. And he'll face Rollins, Revere, and Franzen to start it off. See, just 7 home runs allowed in 98 2/3 innings for Jose Ramirez. Left-handers hit just .074 against him. Jimmy's played in 1 game so far this spring. That was the game over in Lakeland. Getting an opportunity to play today. He will leave on Saturday for the World Baseball Classic. And he's ahead 2 balls and no strikes. To the count to Rollins. Rollins last year hit .250 with 23 home runs and 68 runs batted in, coming off his 6th season of 100 runs scored or more. He'll begin the year with 2,024 hits. And he lines that one to right field, and Cano is there to make the catch. 1 away. So Rollins is retired, and it'll bring Ben Revere to the plate.
Yeah, this ball's hit, excuse me, right off the end of the bat.
Wheels, you okay? You need some water or something?
I got a frog. I can't get rid of it. Kermit jumped in there.
You need a little throat coat or some kind of a lozenge or something?
Be right with you, Tom.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Wheeler will be spending some time getting his throat fixed there. Here's Ben Revere. Revere 1 for 3 so far this spring. And he takes low. It's 1 ball and no strikes.
Didn't even do anything.
Do you have any kind of spices or anything today? You don't have anything like that?
Nothing.
Maybe too much Diet Coke? Dried it out?
Haven't had a Diet Coke.
2-0 the count to Revere.
Maybe I need one.
Folks wonder about the Phillies lineup, from day to day, whether it will be the opening day lineup, whether Revere bats second, whether he bats 8th, whether he bats leadoff from time to time. Hits that one out to the track and left, and Diaz makes the catch, so there are 2 outs. Charlie Manuel said yesterday after the game not to look too much into his lineup, but he is trying to see certain combinations and see certain guys in certain spots.
Well, with his speed hit at the top of the order, he's a natural for that.
Kevin Franzen now the batter with 2 outs. Franzen overall 1 for 3 this spring. His one was a home run against the Tigers. And he takes it to the knees. It's no balls and 1 strike.
That doesn't mean he's going to hit there, though.
Yeah, even when Carlos Ruiz comes back, the lineup could change even more. One and 1 the count. And it's 2 balls and 1 strike.
You said, Tom, nothing wrong with Chase Utley, just the field conditions.
Yeah, Charlie Manuel came out when they were taking the tarp off, and when Opie Cheek, who's the director of grounds here at this beautiful complex, was manicuring the infield dirt, had a long conversation with him. It did look still a little wet at the beginning of the ball game, so it's just a precaution. Chase has played the last several days. Franzen grounds out in Chase's spot as we go to the second. their home schedule at Citizens Bank Park against the Kansas City Royals. It's Modell's Sporting Goods opening day. Free rally towels to all fans coming into the game. Series winds down on Sunday, the 7th of April. You get your tickets by going to Phillies.com. First pitch to Matt Diaz as we begin the second is taken for a strike. It's 0-1. Diaz, who spent 9 of the 10 years he's been in the major leagues in the National League, spent 1 season with the Kansas City Royals. That's who he came up with before he was acquired by the Braves. But he'll get a chance to get some time in left field while Curtis Granderson is out with the broken forearm.
Now, Diaz is not a guy that's going to add power to your lineup. At one point, he was a little bit of a home run threat, not much anymore, and has always been a guy that drove the ball to right and right center, especially when he was with the Braves early in his career.
Primarily has been used against left-handers the last several years, but he did play 116 games back in 2011. Back toward the middle, that'll find its way into center field, a base hit for Diaz. So that's his first hit of the spring. And it'll bring Melky Mesa to the plate. Let's get a chance to bring in Greg Murphy. Murph?
All right, guys. Well, you know, as it is every year, there are plenty of new faces in new places around Major League Baseball. So we decided, the 4 of us, Sarge and Wheels and yourself, T-Mac, we'll make 3 picks this year in a season-long contest, kind of our own fantasy baseball. Guys that'll make the biggest impact with their new team. So you take a look at my picks to start off. I've got Rafael Soriano, who I think is just a great pickup for the Washington Nationals, a guy who had 42 saves a year ago for a team that needed some help in the back end of that bullpen. Torrey Hunter, a guy we saw yesterday with the Detroit Tigers. You add that bat to an already potent lineup in Detroit. I think Torrey Hunter is going to have a huge year in Detroit. And Jose Reyes, of course, part of that big trade between the Miami Marlins and the Toronto Blue Jays. He heads north of the border. Jose Reyes, just 2 years removed from a batting title with a lot of good talent around him. I think Jose Reyes also has a big year. So those are my 3 picks, and I know we're going to get your guys' picks throughout this game. Guys?
Yeah, it's interesting that Soriano is going to close for the Nationals, even though Drew Storen is healthy again. They also have Tyler Clippard, so that does make the back of that bullpen, the Nationals bullpen, extremely potent.
Yeah, the one change the Nationals have in their bullpen is that they don't have that left-handed dominance that they had there last year. Those guys are gone.
Yeah, Sean Burnett went on to the L.A. Angels of Anaheim, so he is no longer a threat from that standpoint. Yeah, those are pretty good changes, Murph. I agree with you. I think those will be impactful for each of those teams. I'm interested to see what Jose Reyes and everybody else does for the Blue Jays that was involved in that trade.
You know, a lot of people that think the Toronto Blue Jays are the best team in that division right now. And, you know, you look at them on paper, it's hard to argue that. They certainly have a lot of talent. You know, Jose Reyes is a guy that we've seen, obviously, a lot in Philadelphia. And we know he has a boatload of talent. Just whether or not he brings it every single day. But I think he's going to be excited in that new atmosphere. So that's why I put him on my list.
All right, Murph, thank you very much. By the way, Mesa struck out to finish off his at-bat. And Matt Diaz, who was trying to steal second, did get to the bag, but LaRue was interfered with by Melky Mesa, and that means that both the batter and the runner are out.
They did not give him a path to throw, and good call there by the home plate umpire. But David, we don't know this guy. I've never seen him before. David Susi. And he came right up with it and pointed immediately that they were both out. Good emphatic call. The umpire supervisors watching that will be impressed.
Well, 2 outs, and Bobby Wilson the batter. And Wilson sends one to the air to right center field. Playable for Ben Revere. And he makes the catch, and the side is retired. When we get back, we'll see what individuals Chris Wheeler feels will impact Major League Baseball. We'll do that in the bottom of the second.
I've been out there most of my life.
double off the bat of Mark Teixeira. And as we promised, it's time to look at Chris Wheeler's impact players for 2013. All right, Wheels, what do you think? What were your thoughts behind this?
Well, R.A. Dickey, it goes without saying, was a Cy Young Award winner last year in this
out
league.
On a limb for that one.
And he'll help solidify what is already a very good.
Josh Johnson is number 4 starter.
And Ricky Romero is 5.
Number 5.
Yeah. So that gives you an idea of where they're headed with that, with some of their players. Zach Greinke, how can he not combine out there with that staff that they had to really help them? I think if he stays healthy and emotionally is okay, and he should be able to pitch in Los Angeles. And Denard Span's a heck of a player. We saw him with Minnesota over the years. He's going to play center field. They have not had a center fielder there when you think about it. A guy that they could look at as an everyday center fielder. That's been a missing piece for Washington, and Denard Span should have a real good year in that ballpark.
Well, we will follow those individuals as the year goes on, and sometime in August we'll put them back up and we'll make fun of whoever it is that made the poor decisions.
Yeah, a guy goes on to DL in the first week of the season's out for the season or something.
0-2 the count to Ryan Howard. As we begin the bottom of the second inning, it's 1-0, Yankees on top. Howard 4 for 8 so far this spring. That's after being hitless in game 1. One and 2 the count to Howard. A little low, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
This guy looks like he really likes to sink his fastball. Had the graphic up early that he didn't throw a lot of home run balls last year. You can see why. Seems like he has a very, very heavy fastball. And like most Dominican pitchers, they have good changeups.
In 2011, he pitched in a little more than 100 innings, and he allowed 12 home runs. So that's not that bad either.
Well, when you see that stat, you wonder, okay, why? And a lot of times it's because of a sinker. And in this case, just watching him from the center field camera, great shot. See how much his ball sinks and runs. Like that.
Ball is shot foul over the third base side and into the concourse.
And his changeup to these left-handed hitters, that dead fish, just dies down and away from them. Probably if he has any kind of breaking ball, you're going to see it more to right-handed hitters.
Down the right field line, it's going to hook foul. There's the changeup that Wheels is talking about. Yankees have 43 pitchers in camp. In fact, they have 83 players overall. And if you're wondering if that's a lot, well, it depends on the team. The Phillies, as far as comparison goes, you see Jabba Chamberlain, have 58 players in Major League camp. Outside ball 4, Ryan Howard is aboard with a leadoff walk. That'll bring Michael Young to the plate, and that'll bring us down the left field line to Greg Murphy, who's with Kyle Kendrick.
All right, our starting pitcher today, his day is done. Kyle Kendrick, your first start of spring. So, how did you feel out there?
Felt good. The first inning just fell behind Teixeira 3-1. I didn't want to walk him in spring training. Didn't want to be doing that. So, got to pitch up. He, put a good swing on it. But, for the first time out, it felt good. That's all that matters.
This spring is, I guess, a little bit different for you because your role is set this year. And it's been one of those things that you haven't known in years past. So, do you approach it any differently, knowing that you'll be in that starting rotation from day one?
No, I'm just going to go out there and do my work. Just make sure my body's feeling good, and get my pitch count up, and just do what I need to do to go out there the fifth day. So I feel good right now, and just now it's time to go do my work.
Big picture, you look at this team, and a lot of people have wondered if the window has closed, and I know you guys have heard that talk. What's the feeling inside that clubhouse about what this team can get accomplished this year?
We're feeling good right now. I know, having Chase healthy and Ryan is going to be a big plus for us. Anytime you lose your 3-4 hitter, it's going to hurt a team. So having them guys back healthy is going to be a big plus for us. And I like rotation, and every team can say as long you stay healthy, you can win some ball games. So that can be said same with us too. We got to stay healthy and got to perform.
The only thing wrong with starting a baseball season is that your golf game is now going to suffer. And I know you live down here in the off season and played a lot of golf. I got a chance to play with you the other day. Your drive was working. It was pretty impressive.
I haven't brought my driver out of the garage in 3 months, and that's the first time I brought it out. And it was sitting in the corner by itself. So it came out and played that day. That was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. You're going to have to put it away for now. You got other work to do. Kyle Kendrick, his day is done. Guys, we'll send it back upstairs.
All right, Murph. Thank you very much. Murph, how was your drive the other day? By the way,
my drive not nearly as good as Kyle's. Not at all.
2-1 the count to Dominic Brown. Michael Young just grounded into a 6-4-3 double play, so that there are 2 outs. The count is 3-1 to Brown. Dominic playing left field today. Darren Ruff's been playing left field for the first few days of spring. And there's a strike at the knees. It's 3-2. Murph, by the way, is lying because Murph's drive is very good.
Yeah, he's involved the team very well.
Kyle Kendrick, by the way, finished with 28 total pitches for the Phillies. Ground ball to first base. Easy hop on the glove side for Teixeira. Phillies go down quietly here in the second. So nothing across so far for the Phillies. We've played our first 2 here in Clearwater. I've watched the best talk in Philly sports. Michael Barkan and Philly's top sports writers have plenty to talk about on Daily News Live. Weeknights at 5 only on Comcast Sportsnet. Well, the Ospreys condo is cleaned up a little bit compared to yesterday here at Bright House Field. 1-0 Yankees as we go to the top of the third. And Aaron Cook is the new pitcher for the Phillies. Cook, who last year pitched in 18 games for the Boston Red Sox, was 4-11 with an earned run average of 5.65. There was a time when Aaron Cook was one of the better pitchers in the National League West. In fact, with the Rockies back in 2008, he won 16 games and had an ERA of 3.96 for Colorado.
Had a great sinker in those days. Sinker, slider, change-up mix. Could keep the ball in the ballpark, too, even though he was in Denver.
Addison Maruzak will lead it off for the Yankees. He takes up high. It's 1 ball and no strikes.
Been through a lot of physical problems that he was able to get past and still compete.
Maruzak playing third base today for the Yankees. Third base is going to be an issue for them, at least to start the season, with Alex Rodriguez on the disabled list with a hip injury. Kevin Youkilis is over from the Chicago White Sox to play third base while Rodriguez is gone. Although he's battling a sore side right now. They say he's fine. He felt a little cramp yesterday, so that's why he didn't make the trip over to Clearwater. He was scheduled to be in the starting lineup. But Joe Girardi knows that he has some issues. It's nice to have a Youkilis who can fill in and be the third baseman, if not until Rodriguez comes back. It could be the entire year. As Cook gets the 1-3 put out.
Joe Girardi, that includes, of course, a world championship. That coming against who'd they beat?
I don't remember.
I don't either. I like to forget that.
His 7th season overall, 1 year with the Florida Marlins, which didn't go all that well.
No, that was quick.
Now back to the top of the order for Eduardo Nunez. And he takes a strike. It's 0-1. Up high, 1 ball and 1 strike. Nunez had a little tapper back to the mound his first time up.
Guy got some big hits for them last year.
There's David Robertson warming up in the bullpen for the Yankees.
He's a good arm guy.
Nunez, it's a high chopper to third. Ashe is there. And there are 2 outs. So a couple of ground outs for Aaron Cook. And Ichiro Suzuki will bat for the second time. By the way, Wheels, we mentioned that that Cody Ashley is getting a chance to start for the first time in spring training.
Has a good play there. He had a couple of plays where he backed up on balls, been a little tentative. That he read the hop really well. The whole key, one of the keys at third base, of course, is read the hop as quickly as you can and not get caught in between. He read that hop really well, came and got it, and got a lot on his throw.
Can't get that one as it slips past him into the hole. Headed to left field, so Ichiro is 2 for 2.
That's what Ichiro does. He gets the third baseman up all the time with the threat of a bunt and his speed. Then he can slap a routine ground ball by a guy for a hit.
Robinson Cano flied out to center his first time up, so he's 0 for 1. Phillies look at Aaron Cook as sort of an insurance policy for the rotation. You know, he's a guy that could be a long man, but for the most part in his career, he's been a starting pitcher. You know, back in 03 with the Rockies, he did work out of the bullpen a considerable amount. But ever since then, his job has been, you know, to be out there every 5th day.
Chase Utley got his first major league hit off this guy. It was a grand slam home run. Citizens Bank Park. I mean at Veterans Stadium. An afternoon game.
LaRue looking over to the dugout where Mick Billmeyer is laying down some signs, letting him know what he wants him to do as far as keeping Ichiro close.
Don't have as much wind here today after that front went through with the rain this morning. Still warm though.
Into the Phillies dugout, and it's no balls and 2 strikes. That'll scatter some folks.
There's nowhere to hide down there when there's not many guys in the dugout. Ball comes in there. All you can do is duck.
There's LaRue getting a chance to catch today. 0-2 the count. Inside 1-2. The other day when Granderson was hit by that pitch by Jay Happ, the next inning the Yankees hit Brett Lawrie of the Blue Jays. I figure those guys are going to face each other, the Yankees and the Blue Jays, an awful lot in the regular season. Back toward the middle. Nice play by Aaron Cook. So he's through his first inning, although the throw kind of dribbled its way over to Ryan Howard. 1-3 on the putout, 3 groundouts for Cook to finish up the third. We go to the bottom of the third here in Clearwater. sports stores. Go further. Last of the third here in Clearwater. Yankees with 4 hits. The Phillies still looking for their first hit. Jose Ramirez was solid for the first 2. Well, we said the players are heading out to the World Baseball Classic. The Phillies have 10 players and then a handful of coaches. They also have one of their clubhouse guys, Sean Bowers, with his arms crossed down the left field line. Still in need of some sun, Wheels, but he is heading to Arizona, where he will be the equipment manager for Team Italy in the World Baseball Classic. So I know he's looking forward to that. Former Phil coach Sam Perlazzo is part of the coaching staff for Team Italy. As Doc spends some time signing some autographs, as he's done the first few games here at Bright House Field down the left field line.
Be nice for Sean. He's a hard-working guy. They have a lot of them down there. Frank Koppenbarger's clubhouse. All the guys that we know so well down there over the years, they all work so hard. And Sean is one of those kids that doesn't say much. You know, he just does his job, and he takes a lot of heat. They tease him a lot, and they tease him because they like him so much.
Well, David Robertson will take over for the Yankees. Robertson 2-7 last year with a couple saves, 81 strikeouts in 60 2/3 innings. Lance Nix will lead it off for the Phillies, and he takes low. 1 ball and no strikes. Robertson's got a big arm. He is from Tuscaloosa, Alabama, 27 years old. And he played at the University of Alabama. Swing and a miss, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Do you remember yesterday when you brought up Judge Landis?
Yes, Kennesaw Mountain Landis.
Right.
For Kennesaw, I brought up Kennesaw State University.
Right.
You brought up the
right.
the former baseball commissioner.
And as you know, sometimes you have a tendency to embellish a little bit, and then sometimes you get it right, sometimes you get it wrong. You know, these things happen.
Did you get it partially right, partially wrong, Wills?
He's a judge, but he was
Right.
not a Supreme Court judge.
Well, you gave him a promotion.
Right. My good friend Joel Robbins sent me this, and Judge Landis was a U.S. District Court judge, and he overlapped as Commissioner of Baseball for 15 months from November of 1920 to February of 1922, but he was never a Supreme Court justice. Thank you, Joel, and we appreciate the correction.
Diaz makes the catch on the liner by Lance Nix. So 1 away. Cody Ashe will be the batter. Monday, April 8th at 7:05. McDonald's opening week T-shirt for fans 15 and over when the Phils take on the New York Mets. It's the first of 3. It includes the first of many Hatfield Dollar Dog Nights on the 9th of April. And then Wednesday the 10th is a 7:05 start. I'm sure Smiley will be around for that series. Order your tickets now by going to Phillies.com.
What a Smiley pitching for Detroit yesterday, and then our Smiley will be at those games.
You could have used that segue yesterday. Yes.
Thought about it, but it was a little late. Jeff and I talked about it off the air a little bit, but it just didn't work at the time.
Jeff Halleckman, our producer.
Yeah.
0-1 the count to Cody Ashe.
Looking for a spot to fit it in, then boom, it was over.
I was at the ballpark about 10 days or so ago when individual tickets went on sale, and Smiley was there along with JJ, the pretzel from J&J Snack Foods.
Hot dog and a pretzel. Huh?
Yeah. Ground ball to first base to Shara with an easy hop. 3 unassisted for the second out. And they're 2 away. Yankees have not allowed a hit so far to the Phillies. And Stephen LaRue will bat for the first time. LaRue last year with the Phillies had 10 at-bats. He was 2 for 10. First pitch outside. Last year when Mariano Rivera went down with his knee injury for the Yankees, shagging fly balls in the outfield, it was Robertson and Soriano who were deemed the closers by Joe Girardi. But then Robertson went on the 15-day disabled list. And that opened the door for Soriano to settle into the closer's role. And he did quite well. Robertson finally returned on the 15th of June. As LaRue takes outside, 3-0.
Has a good arm. Always has. LaRue had that great game last year with Tyler Cloyd in Cincinnati, that rainy afternoon. They really worked well together that day. Cloyd had a tremendous effort. Jimmy Rollins had a home run in the game. LaRue had a big hit in that game, too.
Yeah, the Phillies like LaRue. They like the way he calls games. They like his defense overall behind the plate. He takes outside, and he's aboard with a 2-out walk. So Charlie Manuel's team has managed a couple of walks today offensively. But still looking for their first hit. And Jimmy Rollins would line down to second his first time up. And he'll get his second at bat of the day. Rollins takes low. It's 1 ball and no strikes.
Typical Florida day. 1 point today. I know we're going to play a game here, and now it's just fine.
Yeah, earlier today the winds were whipping pretty hard. In fact, there was a tornado watch for the Pinellas County area. Reports were saying that the winds could be up to 70 miles an hour. And woke up this morning, the winds were moving pretty good.
Oh, you knew there was a front on the way. Plus, it was a little dark out over the Gulf of Mexico. That's a sure sign.
1-1 the count to Rollins. And he takes low and inside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Over to first base and Teixeira. We didn't know if that ball stayed in his glove or not. Rollins hits it right on the nose, but the Phils have nothing to show for it. No runs, no hits, 1 man left. We've played 3, and it's the Yankees on top 1-0 over the Phillies. The Yankees a 1-0 lead, but it's his defense too, which has been pretty sharp so far in the first few innings, Sarge.
Yeah, well, you want to hit and you want to find a hole. Wrong place to hit it on that side there. This guy has sweet hands, very soft, almost kind of handcuffed him there. He didn't know he had it, but he made the play, and J-Ro continues to hit the ball hard. That's what you'd like to see early on in spring training.
Well, those 2 guys will be teammates in the World Baseball Classic coming up. They both will leave this weekend for Arizona. So Teixeira leads it off against Aaron Cook, and Cook's first sinker is taken inside, 1-0.
Well, you can tell Teixeira's taking this season serious. He is just in tremendous shape.
Well, this is already his 5th year with the Yankees. He'll come into this season with 338 home runs. Inside, 2 balls and 1 strike.
And one good thing, though, in that lineup has a lot of help. Just not counting on Teixeira to make the Yankees go.
I think with the injury to Granderson, though, a lot of folks are wondering, do they have enough? As you see Jabba Chamberlain warming up in the bullpen, do they have enough offense? And they probably do, but do they have enough offense as the season begins to put up the same kind of numbers that they put up last year?
I don't think so. I mean, you look at that year Granderson had there with, 40-plus home runs. And keep in mind, that short porch they have there with the New York Yankees, he can really pull the ball, and he finds that porch quite a bit. So that's that kind of production. And talking with Charlie, you don't make that production up. Sure, you can put a guy in that particular hole or that position, but that's a lot of production for someone to make up during the course of the year.
Here's Travis Hafner, who last time grounded out to shortstop. So the ball was up the middle, handled by Rollins. At the count, 1 ball and no strikes. Well, the Yankees have lost Russell Martin, who, had a decent offensive year last year, was down a little bit average-wise. They've lost Nick Swisher. Obviously, Granderson to the arm injury. Alex Rodriguez to the hip problems and everything else that's going on around his world. Derek Jeter's coming off a broken bone in his ankle. But he's scheduled to be okay by the time spring training comes around. We spoke about this a little earlier. What the Yankees added in the middle may not be able to overcome what they lost in the right side. Ibanez had some emotional home runs last year for the Yankees. Swisher, well, that's going to be a tough bat, I think, to replace.
Yeah. And don't forget all the clutch hitting those guys do, especially in Swisher's case.
On the outside corner, 1-2 the count to Travis Hafner.
Derek Jeter, however, is starting to do some running. Not that baseball, though, where he's cutting on the bases, just kind of running right through the bag. Then he'll run over to second base. He's supposed to hopefully get into games somewhere around the 10th. After the All-Star break, however, for Alex Rodriguez, if then.
On the hands, a soft liner into right field. That'll drop for a base hit. So runners on first and second with nobody out here in the 4th. So Hafner picks up his first hit of the day, and for the Yankees, the 5th hit overall. That'll bring Matt Diaz to the plate. Rich Doobie saw Kyle Kendrick throw 2 solid innings. He allowed just the 1 run on 3 hits. And now Aaron Cook, in his 2nd inning of relief, has allowed 2 hits, has walked a batter. And we'll try to get Matt Diaz. Phillies will set up for 2 on the infield.
You notice when players have subpar years, that next year they usually come back in really great shape. Diaz usually had a little bit of, well, around the stomach area, you would say, little plump there. Not so much this year. When you're heavy in the stomach, hard to hit the inside pitch. Want to be able to try and clear your hips and get around on it. Well, get to doing those sit-ups, get a flat stomach, you're able to do that.
Ryan Howard catches the ball on the line and then gets to first base for the double play. He looked over to second, thinking maybe he had a chance for a triple play. But he does get the double play, 2 outs here in the 4th.
That'll get a pitcher out of hot water. Line drive, double play. Doesn't matter how you get him. That ball there hit off his hand. Good pitch by Cook to get in on the hands there. Nothing at all a runner can do when that ball is hit in that type of area.
Melky Mesa struck out his last time up. He breaks his bat. Boy, he has a heavy sinker today. Ashe gobbles it up. The inning is over. Nice job by Cook to work his way out of potential jam here in the 4th inning. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left. We've completed 3.5 here in Clearwater. Phil's in search of their first hit when we get back. By WB Mason. You can't go wrong when you buy right. Last of the fourth inning here in Clearwater. The Phillies still looking for their first hit. They'll have Ben Revere, Kevin Franz, and Ryan Howard due up against right-hander Jabba Chamberlain. And Chamberlain looks like he's in better shape coming into this year.
Hey, you can ill afford not to come in really good shape. That's one of the things the players will do. You don't want to have an excuse that you're not able to make the team because you're not in good shape. It's got to be because you didn't perform. All that goes hand in hand now, and working out in the offseason, coming in tip-top shape to be able to win a job. And on this club, there's some jobs to be had, especially in that outfield.
Well, Chamberlain last year was recovering from Tommy John surgery when he injured his ankle. And missed most of the year. In fact, came back on the 1st of August, 2012. It was kind of a lost season for him. Yeah. Now 27 years old. There was a time when the Yankees thought he'd be part of their rotation. They thought he'd be maybe their closer when Mariano Rivera eventually retired. He would at least be the setup man. But injuries have really derailed him the last couple of years. First that Tommy John surgery, and then the ankle injury last offseason. He'll face Ben Revere to lead it off here in the bottom of the fourth. And Revere takes a strike. It's 0-1.
Well, he's a pretty big guy and stands on the mound, and he's the type of pitcher. He can pitch in different roles. I mean, from the starter to reliever. They've always liked this kid in the organization, and when teams like a particular player, they try and find a spot for them, and well, they should, especially if he has a good arm.
0-2 the count to Revere, and a swing and a miss. Wilson will dig it out of the dirt, one away here in the fourth. First strikeout of the day for Yankee pitching.
Off-speed pitch here you're going to take a look at. Maybe even that split that a lot of pitchers throw. You can see how the last minute kind of just fell off the table.
Franz had grounded out his first time up, so he's 0 for 1. Franz are now 1 for 4 in the spring. He takes inside, 1 ball and no strikes.
Toughest thing for a hitter at this particular part of the season here in spring training is the off-speed pitch. Most of them will able to catch up to the fastball. It's a difficult time on the off-speed pitches because it takes time for your eyes to get adjusted to some of those pitches. Picking up the spin on it, the curveball, the way that it's going. So the fastball early on, that's usually all you're seeing in spring training, and then you go to that off-speed pitch. That's what separates the men from the boys, so to speak.
I've been surprised, honestly, Sarge, the first few games that so many pitchers have used their secondary pitches. Like Chad Durbin, who's going to come into the ball game next for the Phillies, you know, he doesn't solely rely on the fastball. He relies on his other pitches. So you might see him from him. Chamberlain throws that fastball right on by Franzen, but we've already seen his secondary pitches. I thought, I'm with you. I thought, you know, the first go around you'd see more just fastballs.
Well, here's a fastball right there, blowing it right by him. One of the reasons why pitchers and catchers are always here earlier. Pitchers get a chance, get those arms strong, and then be able to hit their spots on the off-speed pitch. And again, the pitchers that have good command, they're the ones that have the success early on.
2 outs. Ryan Howard, who walked his first time up, will dig in. Howard has a couple doubles so far this spring. Hits that one to right center field. It's not deep, and it's going to drop in front of Melky Mesa for the first hit of the day for the Phillies. And the 5th hit this spring for Howard.
Yeah, Mesa couldn't get a jump on that. That ball hit in an area where power hitters, if they really get a hold of it, that fielder has to get on his horse. That ball had like a little bit of a loop, but like to see him get early hits. One thing he's doing is he's waiting back, as you saw right there. Talked about it before. Hitters got to have good balance in order to be a good hitter.
Michael Young grounded it to a double play his first time up. And he takes a fastball. It's 0-1. Young now 1 for 4 this spring.
One for 4. He's hit a few balls hard, however.
Yeah, I thought yesterday in particular, the balls he hit had some authority on them.
Line drives. When you see hitters hitting line drives, even though it might be right at the fielder, gives you good satisfaction. That means that you're seeing the ball very well, especially if you're driving it to the opposite field as opposed to getting jammed. Getting jammed means that it's a slow bat.
Outside and high, 2 balls and 1 strike. High chopper up to middle, and Nunez waits for it. Boy, he kept his concentration and still was able to throw out Michael Young. Nothing for the Phils as far as runs go. They do get their first hit. Ryan Howard is left on the base paths as we go to the 5th. With MLB.com at bat for your iPhone, iPad, or Android. Get spring training scores, stats, highlights, live audio, and more. Text at bat to 31826 or visit Phillies.com for details. Well, the sun has popped out finally here in Central Florida. Phillies down 1-0 as we move to the top of the 5th inning. Chad Durbin will take over for Aaron Cook. So I just thought Aaron Cook looked pretty good out there today for the Phillies.
Had the sinker going on and jamming hitters. Got into trouble the one time. That's what you like to see, however, too. How pitchers will react when they get behind or things happen bad in the game. You had a couple of men on, got that line drive double play, and confidence starting to rise. Bingo, out of the inning.
Well, Chad Durbin, who was part of the Phillies bullpen when they won the World Championship in 2008. Remember when the Phillies picked him up as a free agent from the Detroit Tigers organization following the 2007 season. And they weren't sure what he would be. Would he be a relief pitcher? Would he be a part of the bullpen in 2008? Well, it turned out that he was a huge piece of that bullpen in 2008, 2009, and 2010.
Well, it's the type of pitcher that can almost pitch every day, eats up a lot of innings.
Ball's hit hard by Bobby Wilson, the catcher for the Yankees. Had a base hit to start the 5th.
That off-speed pitch out over the plate. Well, that's where your matchups come in at. That's where the manager comes in at when you have a guy like a Chad Durbin who doesn't throw very hard. Well, the matchup for him would be against a guy that doesn't hit all-speed pitches very well. Breaking balls. That's who he would actually come in and try and get out.
Well, last year Durbin for the Braves was 4-1, an ERA of 3.10. And if you think about it, if he can do that this year for the Phillies, combined with the fact that he is an unbelievable guy for a lot of the young players to, be around, then the Phillies are much better off in 2013 with him part of the bullpen.
Oh, no doubt. Plus, he's done it before, so he knows what it's all about, knows what it's all about in terms of success and not having success in terms of being in Philly.
Ashe with a nice play. He'll have plenty of time for a 5-4-3 double play. Well, a couple things right there, Sarge. Ashe read that ball perfectly over at third base. And because it was hit so hard, the feed to second was right on the money.
Well, the ball's hit hard. You know you can take your time. Don't have fleet-footed runners on the bags here. Nice pick, however. Nice throw as he gathers himself. Look at that by plenty. Boy, that's what you like. There's that 5-4-3 double play.
2 away for Eduardo Nunez. And he takes a breaking ball for a strike. He wasn't expecting that.
Well, he was barely like he was on a bucking horse.
1-1 the count to Nunez, who's 0 for 2. He's grounded out twice.
Nunez will, however, be on the Dominican Republic's team, along with Robinson Cano. Cano will be starting, however. Nunez will be more of the utility type.
Well, they'll be managed, the Dominican Republic, by Tony Pena, who is the bench coach for Joe Girardi. It's part of the reason why the Yankees are comfortable allowing Nunez and Robinson Cano and folks like that to go and play for the Dominican Republic. There's Tony Pena. Grounder toward the left side. Ashe cuts it off in the hole. And he's looking very comfortable over there at third base. He gets a couple of opportunities here in the 5th to help out Chad Durbin. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning here in Clearwater. The Yankees still hanging on to the 1-run lead they had back in the 1st. Out on any Phillies news, alerts, or inside information. Sign up today for the CSNPhilly.com Phillies newsletter. The berm kind of quiet today. We mentioned yesterday that berm is going to be packed as spring training continues. Folks out there getting a chance to take a look at some of the guys in the bullpen. Yankees bullpen today has 2 scoreless innings under its belt. Now Juan Cedeno, who last year with Scranton was 3-0 with an ERA of 2.81. Cedeno, originally a Boston Red Sox pitcher in their farm system, then eventually went over to the Royals, then to the Tigers, then to the Dodgers. And now with the Yankees. Also pitched in Korea, interleague, or excuse me, independent league baseball for a year.
It's kind of almost fighting your way back playing in those different leagues. Once you hear a player has played in the independent league, means that things weren't going so well, and it's almost your last chance once you get to that league. Unless you're playing well, some place like Japan or they're in Korea, those guys usually make pretty good money.
Dominic Brown right on top of that first pitch, and he hits it foul. It's 0-1.
But that independent league is more or less for guys trying to get back. And again, like I said, just about your last chance. And if you do well there as a pitcher, you better be striking out a lot of guys. And as a hitter, you better be hitting that ball out of the ballpark. And yes, they have been players that have made it back.
One of the more notable guys that's made it back was Kevin Millar.
Kevin Millar made it back, you're right.
He was with St. Paul before he found great success with the Marlins. In fact, after being with St. Paul, when he was with the Portland Sea Dogs in the Eastern League, his first year back in professional baseball, he was the MVP. 1-2 the count to Dominic Brown. Brown 0 for 1. Grounded out his first time up.
Brown has a lot of confidence in his ability to be able to hit. He talks about, hey, give me about 500 at bats. You won't be talking about my fielding, he said.
It's a good point at his part is to try to get some consistency. Injuries have been an issue for him every time he's tried to get started. Will he get 500 at bats, you think?
It's going to be tough this year unless he's a player that can get in there, get hot, and stay in there. The guys get 500 at bats are guys that are playing almost every day. Okay, I mean, not taking days off, playing about 100 and let's say, 56, 55, 54 games, somewhere around in there. Don't know if he's going to be able to play that many games or whether or not his bat will allow him. He has the ability to be able to play.
Well, he's hit by a pitch there. It looked like he was able to get out of way of it enough. So he's aboard to lead off the 5th inning. Now, do you like that kind of talk from Dominic? Saying,
Absolutely.
Give me a chance.
Oh, yes. Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, getting your chance, there are a lot of times you got to make that manager give you the chance by what you do in spring training.
I thought maybe he got far enough away from that ball where it just hit the front of his jersey. No, it hit him pretty good.
Well, tailing in on him. He's in good shape, however.
Lance Nix, the batter, he lined out his first time up. And it's 1 ball and no strikes.
Because of Ryan Howard and Chase Utley, we've become accustomed to seeing a lot of left-handed pitchers against the fighting fields as of late, especially the last couple of years or so.
Has to get away from that one. It's 2-0. Now that's going to cause some discomfort in the batter's box.
Some discomfort? Yeah, you bet. Especially any time, and for whatever reason, the left-handed pitchers, their ball seems to really kind of follow you there. You can see Nix doing the correct way. For you youngsters out there, you want to make sure you turn your head right back toward that catcher. A lot of times guys would just kind of duck a little. Andre Dawson used to do that. Ball comes in, instead of turning, he would just duck. Seen him hit a couple times. Got to spin away from the ball. Two and
1 the count to Nix. Lance 1 for 3 so far this spring.
Here's another guy that needs to stay healthy. Hopefully he can get about, maybe 300 at bats. He gets 300 at bats, he'll do some damage.
I think one of the goals for Lance Nix is to try to stay healthy for the full year. I think he was, and you can just imagine this, I think he was very frustrated last year because of that calf injury. And that's an annoying injury. that every time you think you're back, you can re-aggravate it almost immediately.
Yeah. Well, allow you to do the things you need to. Got to have your legs in the game to be a good player, good hitter. And Nix can do a lot of things for your club, and the pinch hitting, I mean, he has that down pat. So, I mean, you take your chances on a Lance Nix with 2 outs and late in the ball game, runner in scoring position. He's got a pretty good approach and knows exactly what he's trying to do at the plate.
To the right side, Cano. It's a nice play on a big hop. That's all they'll get. Now they get the lead runner for the first out here in the 5th. 4-6 on the putout. All right, Sarge. So earlier we saw Greg Murphy's picks for impact players and wheels. Now let's take a look at your impact picks. Walk us through these, Sarge.
Well, I thought leadoff hitter, let's face it, for Cincinnati, Shin-Soo Choo there, he's going to be I think a great acquisition. I went with 2 managers. John Gibbons, because of the fact of all the acquisitions that the Toronto Blue Jays, and just the opposite for my good friend Bo Porter.
Friend of the program.
I mean, he's just not. If you're able to win, hopefully they won't lose 100 ball games. Oh, what a play there.
Boy, that was unfortunate for Cody Ashley because he hit that one right on the nose, and Nix was caught in no man's land. So the Phillies do get the leadoff batter aboard, but they're unable to push a run across the plate. They do hit the ball kind of hard a couple of different times these last couple of innings, but still nothing to show for it. Well, Sarge, it's spring training for all of the Phillies fans who are getting their outfits ready for the rest of the season. That is obviously a gentleman who's getting ready for the 4th of July.
Yeah, I kind of like that. You know, just a little bit different. Knows that he has a good chance of being on television when you wear a hat of that type.
You kind of like it, though.
Oh, yeah. You see the Phillies up there. You know, he's very patriotic. Look at the stars. He's got the stripes.
Well, I only think we're seeing part of the outfit. I believe there's more, but he's being shielded right now. There's no better way to celebrate the 4th of July than going with that guy and celebrating the start of a new baseball season than with tickets for opening day. The easiest way to get tickets for the Modell Sporting Goods home opener is by considering an opening day 6-game pack. Order now at Phillies.com and plan to waive your Modell Sporting Goods rally towel when the Phils host the Royals April 5th at 4:05. Let's check in with Greg Murphy. Murph, take it away, buddy.
All right, thanks a lot, T-Mac. Here with Chad Durbin. And before the game, a bunch of fans right here back here in the corner were telling you how great it was to have you back here in the Phillies uniform. How great is it for you to be back in the Phillies uniform?
It's nice. It's nice. It was good to get in the clubhouse, see a lot of familiar faces. The organization always treats me and my family really well, so we didn't really want to leave when we left, but had a good couple years, got to know some new guys, and now I'm back here and happy.
Back in the clubhouse and back on the mound today for your first action this spring. All looked good. How'd you feel out there?
Yeah, good. I found a couple barrels, but got 2 outs quick, and then made some better pitches to the third guy, and Ash made some plays over there at third base.
You know, there's been a lot of talk about this Phillies bullpen and how it will develop and shape when you do head north. You'll be a big part of that, obviously. And as a veteran, there's going to be some young guys on that staff. Do you look at that as part of your role going forward this season?
Absolutely. I think, more than anything, I think that's my my bread and butter, whatever you want to call it. I work well like that. I can get in their heads, try to get the process that they work with down, and then work within that and try to fix where they're at. Or if they don't need anything, I just pat them on the back and give them some of my experience. What happens to a lot of these guys is they're trying to survive so bad that they forget to play the game. And I've been there a lot. And so I can relate to them, get them loose, try to help them off the field too, because there's a lot of stuff going on in the big leagues, and a lot of them end up pretty decent human beings regardless of my help or not, and if I help a little bit, good.
Well, absolutely. That's part of what you're here for, and also obviously to throw the baseball. You're going to be asked to come in some big situations, but you thrive in that.
Absolutely. I've pitched in Cleveland. I pitched a lot of long relief innings, 9-1 games, no adrenaline, and I didn't really do well. So it's kind of up to me to pitch well to get myself into those situations. But I definitely like the adrenaline of a big situation and helping. You feel like you're helping the team on a regular basis when you put your cleats on every day. You feel like you might get a big out, help the team win. That feeds your soul a little bit.
Absolutely. Well, you were here. You won before when you were here. Hopefully you can do it again. Chad, good to see you. Welcome back. Guys?
All right, Murph, thank you very much. I mean, think about it, Sarge. Chad Durbin, Brad Lidge, Scott Air. Could the Phillies have had a better bullpen of guys, just real solid guys, than that group right there?
Well, the way that everybody knew their role, and let's face it, I mean, Brad Lidge having just a career year, didn't lose one save. I believe he saved
perfect all the way through.
All the way through, and we couldn't have used really any other closer other than Brad, and it was just one of those magical type years, pitching wise, where everything fell in the way that it should, and that's a year that the Philly fans will never ever forget.
Gil Velasquez, by the way, is coming on to pinch run for the Yankees as you look at Zach Minor in his second appearance for the Phillies. There's Velasquez. So Robinson Cano is done for the day. Ichiro might be done also. If he is, he's got 3 hits this afternoon. In fact, 4 now in the spring.
Yeah, he needs 116 for 4,000 totally for his career, Japan and also the major leagues.
LaRude off with the mask over near the Yankee dugout. Ooh, that ball kind of took off on him as it was coming on down. He hopped over the pine tar, slipped past the weight in the on-deck circle, and got no other help over there.
Yeah, he would tell you that he should catch this ball. He has a bead on it right there. Just didn't go in the glove. Got to look that ball right into the glove there. See Teixeira there with a long swing. Now he has it right there, and he just didn't go into the glove. Other than that, it's a catch.
Well, new life for Teixeira with the count, no balls and 2 strikes. You might find it odd, but the catchers do practice those things.
Oh, yeah.
On the backfield, they have a machine that just shoots the ball straight up in the air. It's the same machine that they would use for batting practice, bunting practice. Mick Billmeyer operates that machine, and they shoot balls every which way behind home plate to give catchers a little chance to get the rust off. That one's over our head and out of play. One and 2 the count to Teixeira, who has a double and an RBI, the only RBI of the day.
I think before it's all said and done, Ichiro, who will not be on the Japan team, will be a Hall of Famer, not just here in the major leagues, but obviously back in his hometown there in Japan.
This pitch by Minor, a breaking ball. There are 2 outs. I think Ichiro will be a first ballot Hall of Famer here in the States.
Yeah, only a little over 300 hits. He needs 394 hits for 3,000 here in the States. I mean, you think about it, when he came into the league, that's a lot of hits. Just shows you what a great hitter this guy has been over the years.
Here's Rob Segedin, who's going to pinch hit for the Yankees. And he takes a breaking ball for a strike. So Travis Hafner, the DH, is done after a 1-for-2 afternoon. Numbers don't go any higher on the baseball field than Rob Segedin. That's going to hurt right off his foot. Number 99.
Oh,
Sarge.
boy.
Invited to spring training, get a chance to be with the big club. Anxious to see what number you're wearing. Hoping it's a number maybe from 50 on down.
Yeah, because when they give you 99, you better make sure you're hitting that ball.
7 home runs last year in the Florida State League.
They don't even know your name when you have a number that high in spring training. Like Charlie would say, he doesn't know him. He just says, "Hey, you." I said, "Well, Charlie, that's just about to everybody on the team, isn't it?" Has a tendency at times to forget the names, never the face, however.
Ashe again, this time a very comfortable hop, goes the short way to second. And Zach Miner has a comfortable 6th inning for the Phillies. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left. 5.5 here in Clearwater. Phillies with just 1 hit so far. Up now for an appointment. And by Citizens Bank, where good banking is good citizenship. Isn't it time you experienced good banking? 1-0 Yankees, bottom of the 6th inning. Steven LaRude will lead it off for the Phillies. Got total changes for the Yankees across the board. Thomas Neal will take over in left field for the Yankees. In center field, it's Adonis Garcia who takes over for Melky Mesa. The new right fielder is Ranier Mustele, and he'll take over for Ichiro. And some changes along the infield, too. Cito Culver is at shortstop. I mentioned Gil Velasquez, who came on a pinch run. He's at second base for the Yankees. There he is. The new first baseman is Luke Merton for New York. There's Luke Merton. We have a new catcher, too. J.R. Murphy is doing the catching now for the Yankees. And LaRude fouls the first pitch off the third base line. And that's a heck of a grab.
Wow.
So there's the first out here in the 6th inning.
Well, that's how you get noticed with that type of number on. He's 93, making some good plays. One, too, that shows you the depth of the New York Yankees over the last. Look at this. This is an athletic play. He reaches back over his body. Didn't take his eye off the ball was the key. Look how he keeps his eye on it. Soft hands, locates it. Ball grows, says, hey, pretty good play there.
Well, that is Walter Ibarra, who is the third baseman for the Yankees. Now, the Yankees, if you look at their numerical roster, they have a handful of guys who have the same number. It's as if you're calling a college football game. But Walter Ibarra is the third baseman for the Yankees.
I guess you really feel that you're lucky to even have a number, well, if you're a young player and proud of it. when you get that number with the Yankees.
Rollins is the batter against Jim Miller. Rollins today is 0 for 2. He's lined out. He's also grounded out. 0-2 the count. And that ball just missed. 1-2 the count.
Second pitch he threw in there. That's one of the pitches J-Ro, even last year, had a tendency to jump back from. I think this year needs to stay on that pitch. When you clear your hips, turning on that ball, that's almost going to be right down the middle for him. The key is stay on it.
That one is straight back and just to our left and out of play.
I'm surprised at you. You didn't move, didn't duck under the table like Wills would do. Wow.
If it was here,
yeah, okay, you're right.
I would have been in perfect position to make. No, I would have been in perfect position to make the catch.
My bad. Okay. Didn't know you were going to go for it.
Inside, 2-2 the count. What do you think of Jimmy Rollins' comments, Sarge, about the Phillies? If they were healthy, they would have won the division last year. I kind of like listening to it, to be honest with you. What do you think?
I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, you're talking about, I don't know. It's just that they didn't have the same kind of at-bats, didn't have the same type of enthusiasm. I mean, just, he had a pretty decent year. Didn't have an all-star year by any means of the imagination, but really in terms of shortstops, he was just about at top of the list.
He'll be part of a great giveaway. The opening weekend against the Royals you just saw on Saturday, April 6th. The free Jimmy Rollins replica Gold Glove Trophy. Compliments of Turkey Hill. Free to fans 14 and under. It's kind of a giveaway that we've never seen before.
I'll tell you the one thing, though, about J-Ro, never feels like he's going to lose or be a loser.
Here's ball 4, and he draws a walk with 1 out here in the 6th.
Good at bat.
And now Ben Revere will be a hitter. Jim Miller, by the way, is a 30-year-old who is from Fort Myers, Florida. Last year pitched for the Oakland A's. He was 2-1 with a 2.59 ERA in 33 games for Oakland. So he was part of what was a great year for Bob Melvin's team. And Revere takes outside, 1 ball and no strikes.
These are the situations I like seeing Ben in with a runner on. Don't know exactly what type of hitter he is. You know, he had a good year last year. I'm just picking out little certain things on him so far. It doesn't seem like he swings at a lot of bad pitches. Haven't seen him swing at a lot in the dirt or over his head. These are the type of hitters that need to stay within themselves, meaning line drives. Good approach.
He doesn't look like he's fearful with swinging when there's 2 strikes.
Which is another good point. You know, usually 2-0. I mean, most hitters feel that's going to be a good pitch they hit. That one borderline, that was up. These are situations too. I mean, butting that ball third base line or taking it with you. You like to see it more so down the third baseline, especially when they're playing back. The left-handed hitter, he's able to see how far he's back.
Back toward the middle, off the glove of Miller. That cost him a chance to get Rollins at second. But he still is able to keep it together and get Ben Revere at first. And there are 2 outs. The Phillies have a runner in scoring position for the first time this afternoon. Kevin Franzen is the batter.
Hey, though, even though that pitch there, right back at the pitcher, I like that better than the little lazy fly ball, and it tells me that he's trying to at least go through the ball to try and hit line drives, as opposed to, as a smaller guy, trying to lift the ball out of the ballpark.
There's some guys that never get past that.
Oh, absolutely.
Remember Andy Chavez? I mean, Andy's had a nice career, but Andy Chavez was not a big guy, and it looked like he would try to swing for the fences all the time.
He would swing so hard, small guy. Speed was his biggest asset, I thought.
Franzen takes a strike. It's 0-1. Franzen 0 for 2. He's grounded out. He's also struck out today. Only run of the day came in the first inning on an RBI double by Mark Teixeira. To the count.
Even though the games are early, 0-2-1, haven't won a game yet. You want to get that win on that other ledger there, so you kind of relax. Don't want to go 0-4, 0-5, 0-6. It tends to put pressure on guys, pressure enough trying to make the ball club. You don't want the pressure of winning ball games. Rule of thumb here. Spring training, if you play right around 500, you think that you've had a pretty good year. Obviously, at the end of the game, you get a lot of youngsters. You see Mayberry practicing on taking that first pitch.
Now there's Chase, who was scheduled to play today and was scratched just at the start of this ball game. Franzen rips one to the corner, and the Phillies are on the board this afternoon. An RBI double for Kevin Franzen. It's a 1-1 game.
That's a pretty nice stroke from Franzen. Lashes a line drive there to left field. But he's had some pretty good at bats too. I mean,
he has.
A lot of times it doesn't always tell. Look how he got that foot down, a head right down. Look at his head, how it goes right down. That's how you hit a ball and be able to turn on it. Automatic double, automatic RBI when there's a runner on second base, as you see J-Roll coming through your pitcher. Chase Utley not playing today, scratch for maybe just because it's a little wet out there.
Well, that is the reason. They officially told us that, the Phillies did, just as the game was getting underway. Ryan Howard takes a strike. It's 0-1. Howard 1 for 1 today. A walk back in the second. Cracks that one over to the right side. And that'll do it for the 6th inning. However, the Phillies do tie it up. They get an RBI double off the bat of Kevin Franzen. His second hit of the spring. Phillies only with 2 hits, but we're even at 1 as we head to the 7th. Saw some pretty good plays from Cody Ashley over at third base so far this afternoon. Here's our game summary. Yankees scored a run in the first on an RBI double by Mark Teixeira. The Phillies tied it in the sixth on an RBI double by Kevin Franzen. Ichiro's day is done. He had a good day. He was 3 for 3 with a stolen base and a run scored. The Phillies starters continue to do some pretty good work. Kyle Kendrick allowed a run in 2 innings. And Zach Miner will begin his second inning of relief as he will face Thomas Neal for the first time today. Neal is playing left field for the Yankees. And Ashley again with another opportunity. We think Wheels, he looks a little better over there at third.
You know, Tom, it kind of goes down to what we talked about yesterday, earlier in the game, charging the hop. That's the whole thing down there as a third baseman. You have to charge the ball unless just every once in a while you have to back up. And rarely is it that way. Charge the ball and get your hop as opposed to the hop that plays you, and then you're in trouble because you throw off your back foot and you can't get anything on it.
Well, he has a new guy next to him, and Freddie Galvis at shortstop. Pete Orr is the new second baseman. Josh Fields, meanwhile, is around at first. Adonis Garcia is the new hitter, or is the batter for the Yankees. And Tommy Joseph is behind the plate, making his spring debut in a Phillies uniform.
It looks like he throws pretty well when he gets that momentum behind. Real confident, too, when he charges a ball and gets it on the proper hop and then is in throwing position. It's really hard to catch a ball backing up and then throw off your heels.
Line drive, base hit to center field for Garcia. So 1 out single. Second hit allowed by Miner.
Yeah, here's some of the plays that Cody Ashley's made today. Watch him charge the ball. Reading the hop real well there. Then gets a lot behind the throw, and it's accurate. Here's another one. That's just a reflex play in the hole, dives for it, starts a double play. And there's another one, judging the hop and throwing on the run a little bit with all that momentum behind you. So nice job by him defensively this afternoon.
As we mentioned, he is the Phillies' top prospect over at third base. And he will most likely begin the year in Lehigh Valley. And see what kind of year he has with the Iron Pigs. J.R. Murphy up for the first time today. He's 0 for 1 in spring training games for the Yankees. Fly ball center field. That's pretty well hit. Mayberry on the run, in for the first time, and that one is gone. A 2-run center field home run for J.R. Murphy. And it's now 3-1, Yankees on top. You want to talk about crushing the ball. That ball was absolutely smothered.
Yeah, he hit that well. The wind really has picked up as the game's gone along here this afternoon. It's blowing out like it was the first couple days almost. And he got that up into the jet stream, and it took off and just over the yellow line and then off the backdrop.
So the Yankees have the lead for the second time today. Walter Ibarra is the hitter for the Yankees. Wheels, he is one of 2 number 93s on the Yankee overall roster.
Yeah, I'm glad you got this covered. Great job, Tommy, as always.
Took a little while, though, this time.
It's so nice to be over in this seat.
1-1 the count to Ibarra.
These games have been in yours, and whew.
1 for 2 so far in the spring. Shows bunt, and it's 1-2. And a called strike 3. Joseph applies the tag, and it's the second strikeout for Miner. So Miner gets a second strikeout, and Cito Culver will bat for the first time. I think he's changed all 8 position players in the last inning, so that's why you're seeing fresh faces coming up to the plate. And Culver takes ball 1. Cito Culver is a 20-year-old from Rochester, New York. And the count, 2 balls and no strikes. Last year in Single A, he played 122 games and had 2 home runs and 40 runs batted in. Back toward the middle. Pedor is there with a nice hop. And Minor gets through the 7th inning. However, the Yankees have retaken the lead on a 2-run home run to center field off the bat of J.R. Murphy. This one, no doubt about it. You can hear the sound once it left the bat. The Yankees lead it 3-1. Lead it 3-1 as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Jimmy Rollins' afternoon is complete, except for a few autographs up the left field line. Jimmy is out there. Ryan Howard is out there as they head to the clubhouse to finish off their day. Yankees, just in case you're scoring at home, have 2 95s on the field. Again, Wills, it's like watching college football. You know, sometimes you have a 95 on defense, sometimes you have a 95 on offense.
Yeah, special teams.
Yeah, Zach Nutting is the new pitcher. He's wearing number 95. And Mustile is in right field. He's been in there for the last inning or so. So Nutting, who last year for Tampa was 8-3 with a 3.89 ERA for the Yankees. Overall 9-3 in the minor leagues with a 3.51 ERA. He's on to face Michael Young, who's 0 for 2. And the first pitch inside, it's 1-0. Nutting has been drafted a couple different times. The first time by the Texas Rangers and then by the Yankees, and signed by the Yankees out of Weatherford College, which is located where, Wheels?
I have no idea.
In Weatherford, Texas.
Okay, thank you. Love geography lessons.
There is a pitcher in the major leagues who at one time, Wheels, pitched for Weatherford College. He's with the Baltimore Orioles. Can you name that pitcher?
No, but I'd love to find out.
Well, it's Jake Arrieta. Just thought it was kind of interesting to see that he was, because I had never heard of Weatherford College. Michael Young off the end of the bat, over to shortstop.
And we saw him last year, Jake Arrieta.
Yep.
Made a start in Baltimore.
So what a way. And Dominic Brown up for the 3rd time. Hit by pitches last time up. And he grounded out to first base sharply. His first time to the plate. Nick Billmeyer next to Charlie Manuel, which he will be for the 2013 season. Mick is no longer in the bullpen. He is part of the coaching staff that will remain on the bench in 2013. asked Mickey the other day, I said, so where are you going to sit? He said, I'm going to be all over the place.
He has some energy.
Part of the reason why he is in the dugout now is to, kind of work the dugout.
Keep people loose.
Mm-hmm.
He's good at that. Does that for us.
Rod Nichols takes over in the bullpen as the bullpen coach. 0-2 the count to Dominic Brown.
Well, that's another thing. You try to promote guys through your system a little bit, too. They do a good job in the minor leagues, and everybody wants to be in the big league, so Rod Nichols gets a chance to be a big league coach.
The one out of play remains 0-2. Another foul ball. And Dominic Brown stays alive. Dominic getting a chance to play left field today. He's been playing right field the first few days. He'll be followed by Lance Nix, who's in the on-deck circle. A little low, 2-2 the count. That ball's hit well. Wow. Straightaway center field. Dominic Brown has his second home run of the spring over the batter's eye here in center field. That is a monster shot, and it's a 3-2 ball game. Well, that is some big man's power right there.
Yeah, it's nice to see, too. He hits it straight away. And we mentioned the wind had really picked up as this game's gone along, and you're going to get some help out there, and that's going to be a home run. And then it really got it going as he smoked it right over the batter's eye.
Well, you thought Murphy's home run was far. This one, listen to it. Wow.
Yeah, that made a good sound if you're a Philly. Fastball out over the plate. He really had a good swing on that. Just that's like trying to hit the ball back through the middle. They'll really be pleased. Home run's terrific, but to hit the ball back that way, here's another look at it. And he hit it so high, and once it got up in that big, strong wind we have now, see you later.
And that startled the folks out there that were just sitting right to the right of that batter's eye. And it went over their head. I don't know if it hit the walkway in center field or if it even went over that.
Well, the center fielder gave up on it early.
Became a spectator.
Yeah. He says, how far is this going to go?
About how far that is.
That's a long one.
That's over 450 feet, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that's well off the bricks at home, off the ivy.
It might even be over the bricks.
Well, we've had a few of those. Ryan Howard's done it.
Ryan Howard most notably over those bricks. I think what you said, too, the fact that he went straight through the middle.
Nice.
That just drove the ball.
Talking to Charlie about him the other day, and he's improving. He says he's going to be an alleys to alleys guy, and he has big power center field over towards right. But he has to hit the ball back through the middle and then pull the pitches that are available to pull.
0-2 pitch to Nix. Over to first base. It's a pretty good play over there by Merton. Now the pitcher covering in time. 3-1 on the putout. 2 outs here in the 7th.
Another thing you'll really notice on that swing that he has, the way he hit the ball out front, too. Like anything else, if you hit the ball back too far, you don't drive it. If you hit it out front the way that he did, you have a chance to really drive it.
Now 2 gone here in the bottom of the 7th.
Evidently, that one he hit at Lakeland the other day was big time.
That was a big time shot, yep. Not an easy place to hit a ball out. Now, you remember, was it 2 years ago when he hit that ball off Justin Verlander here in right field?
That was headed for the Gators out there.
She's 0 for 2.
In that pond out there in right center.
we ever gone out there to see if there truly are gators out there?
I have no interest in finding out. It's just a good thing to just bring up once in a while as a hypothetical.
We should make that a road trip out there.
Yeah. We'll send Murph out there, and he also can check out the condo for the
for the
ospreys, for the birds.
Murph, are you out there?
That'll test him.
I'm out here, and I'm wondering if I get a vote on that. I was a rookie last year. If you wanted to check on the Gators, you should have sent me then.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Sarge obviously is out because he's not going to go out anywhere where there's some wildlife.
Right. Well, that's true.
Yeah.
He's also not going to walk that far.
Well, that's actually a very good point. As that ball is shot out by Murph toward left field, and it's off the glove of Thomas Neal, and Ashe's going to pull into second. Thought about 3, but he'll stop at second. So with 2 outs, the Phillies have runner in scoring position.
What do you think about going up one of those condos?
I wouldn't do that. Sarge is out on that one, Murph, going up to look at one of the Osprey condos because he's afraid of heights.
Yeah, well, he won't even cross the bridge.
It's true. So it's up to you, Murph.
All right.
You're on your own.
I'm in. Count me in.
Yeah. You can turn around and grab Kevin Steinauer, who's behind you. He'll go with you. I
there
bet
he
if
is.
you,
that's right.
If you discuss it with him.
Say hi. Yep. Kev doesn't want to be on television.
Now, Kevin has a strong Midwestern Illinois roots. He wouldn't be afraid of a little height.
Here's Tommy Joseph. Joseph up for the first time here in Clearwater. Oh, boy. Towering shot deep to left field, way back there. It's gone. A 2-run home run for Tommy Joseph, and the Phillies take a 4-3 lead. I know the wind is blowing and everything, but those are 2 big-time shots. First by Dominic Brown, and then second by Tommy Joseph. Guy the Phillies acquired from the Giants last year in the Hunter Pence trade.
This guy's elevating some pitches in this inning. Zach Nutting. And he elevated another one there, and that baby almost hit the roof of the tiki bar out there.
So Joseph, his first hit of the spring. It's nice to get a chance to watch him play a little bit. Folks in Lehigh Valley should get a chance to see him play this year.
That's another one that sounded like a home run.
Mm-hmm. Here's Freddie Galvis, and he takes a strike. It's 0-1. Outside, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Freddie 2 for 4 so far in the spring.
Thank you. Thank you.
Told there are gators out there and 1 big one.
Oh, really? We need to get photos of this just to confirm it.
One of the Clearwater guys texts me, and I don't know who it is. I apologize. Might be, you know what? I think it's JT. It might be John Timberlake, and I think it's John's number.
You're gonna feel bad if it is.
I got to put all these numbers in my phone. I'm just getting around with this new phone.
I got
names in it. It's probably John, and we thank you for that, JT. Your nephew's going to be appearing at Citizens Bank Park.
That's right.
This summer.
Yep. 1-2 the count to Freddie Galvis.
Justin Timberlake, of course. If it isn't JT, at least we get a plug for the concert.
Swing and a miss. Galvis down on strikes. And I wonder if he hurt himself. I wonder if he hurt himself on that swing. He did not look good when he finished off that swing.
That's how he hurt himself last year on a swing there. He's grabbing his side a little bit. A lot of times when they grab their side, it's a dreaded oblique.
Mm-hmm.
Suppose the last year when he had his hand on his back when it happened.
I think that's 3 outs, by the way.
What are we
the umpires, I just looked down and I thought maybe I missed it. The scoreboard, I believe, was incorrect. It says just 2.
That's a 3rd out.
Yeah, Dan Iasonia, who's the crew chief, is going to walk down the third base line. Here I have Michael Young grounding out to short, Lance Nix grounding out to first, and then the strikeout by Galvis. And that's the end of the inning, folks.
Unless the squad game just broke out, this inning's over.
2 home runs for the Phillies, one longer than the other. Dominic Brown sent one. I mean, this was over 450 feet, folks. And then Tommy Joseph, it may not have been as long, but this was a long one, too, to left field, just in front of Frenchie's Tiki Bar, and the Phillies have the lead. Baseball is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. And by Xfinity, the official HD triple play provider of your Philadelphia Phillies. A couple of long home runs for the Phillies have given them a 4-3 lead as we move to the top of the 8th inning. Freddie Galvis, we mentioned he had struck out in his last at bat for the final out. Watch the swing, Wheels. Watch the end of the swing.
Yeah, like a high slider or cutter right there. And I think he grabs his side. I don't know if he does it there or when he heads back towards the dugout.
He just looks uncomfortable right there.
And as he got near the dugout, I saw him put his hand near his side.
Well, he is still in the ball game. Just didn't look good at the end.
Well, you know, you swing at a pitch like that, it's an awkward swing, and those are the kinds you can get hurt on.
And with the back problem he had last year. So he's still in the ball game, so let's hope everything's okay. Cesar Jimenez is the new pitcher for the Phillies. So he'll take over as we go to the top of the 8th inning.
Right fielder, number 95, Ronnie.
Last year in the minor leagues, Jimenez, 26 games, 2-2, a 5.24 earned run average. Bustier will bat for the first time for the Yankees. And the first pitch of the 8th inning shows bunt, takes a changeup low and away. And it's 1 ball and no strikes. That ball's hit sharply to shortstop. And 1 out. Galvis looked okay on that one.
Yeah, that was good to see.
Sunday, April 7th, when the Phillies take on the Kansas City Royals for a 1:35 game. Fans 14 under receive the Ryan Howard wiffle ball set. Compliments of IBEW Local 98. Make your plans now to see the Phillies and the Royals for a weekend series to start the 2013 home schedule. Get your tickets at Phillies.com. We're going to show you that wiffle ball set at some point in the next few days on our telecasts.
Just hopefully someone is handling it and it's not us up there swinging at it.
Well, I think that's all part of the fun, Wheels. We're going to look for alligators and we're going to swing wiffle ball bats.
Sometimes it'd be more fun to look for alligators.
Velasquez takes outside. It's 2-0.
Look better running away from a gator than you would swinging and missing in a wiffle ball.
I don't know about that.
Well, I don't either.
Outside 3-0. Jimenez last year pitched in 8 games for the Seattle Mariners. In fact, he's been in the big leagues with the Mariners for 43 games. 3 of those games were starts. Phillies picked him up as a free agent in December. He was granted free agency back in October. He's from Venezuela. And he works the count back to 3 balls and 2 strikes. Jimenez spent a lot of time in the minor leagues. How about 296 games in the minor leagues?
Dedication.
And a swing and a miss. He has the first 2 outs here in the 8th inning.
First baseman, 94, Luke Merton.
They'll bring Luke Merton to the plate. Merton came on to play for Mark Teixeira a couple innings ago.
Never seen this guy before, so just take a look. Look at that fastball away. Just a late swing at it.
Merton, the Yankees got in the 19th round of the 2009 draft out of Georgia Tech. He was first drafted by the Yankees out of high school in 2007. So far 0 for 2. Last year in Trenton, he had 249 with 25 home runs and 68 runs batted in. That's a lot of home runs for that ballpark.
Sure is. Pretty good changeup there.
So Burton's behind 0-2.
Just shook off 3 pitches, one being changeup to go to fastball in.
Off the hands, that's going to drop into center field. 2-out single. You know, for Tommy Joseph, who's behind the plate, it's the first time he's getting a chance to work with this guy too.
He was trying everything there. It was supposed to be fastball in. He didn't get it. He didn't get it in enough. It was a good idea because you see he got jammed anyway after all that stuff away. So they decided pitcher Jimenez wanted to come back inside.
There's Brandon Pinder, who's throwing in the bullpen. Wheels, I don't want to startle you, but he's number 99, and number 99's at the plate right now. Rob Seguin.
This is like a college game, isn't it? A football game.
It's kind of like that, yeah.
Well, no team has more retired uniforms than these guys, I wouldn't think.
Also have a lot of guys in camp.
Well, there's just a lot of numbers for regulars on this team that aren't available.
That is true.
For obvious reasons with their history.
Yeah, Yankees, and I think it's the Cardinals who are second. I could be wrong. Cardinals and the Dodgers are in the same neighborhood. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Down the right field line, foul, out of play.
Well, the Yankees almost have run out of single-digit numbers, and nobody will wear 2 again.
Nobody will wear 2. I think 6 will eventually be retired. Joe Torre's number. Wouldn't you think that?
Yeah, that's a great point.
So they'll be done with single digits.
Yeah, 2 for Jeter. Yeah.
Second in last year, split time between Tampa and Trenton. Single A and double A. Ground ball toward the middle. Galvis, well, I guess the backside, whatever it was, is totally fine because he moved exceptionally well to get after that one. And an easy flip to Pete Orr makes it somewhat of an easy inning for Jimenez, and that'll take us to the bottom of the 8th.
Nor retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Phillies.
Partial season ticket plans are available right now by going to Phillies.com. 17 and 14 game ticket plans. All plans feature great benefits, including ticket discounts and postseason options. A great way to enjoy Phillies baseball and terrific promotions throughout the season. Order your tickets at Phillies.com. The Phillies fans have got a chance to enjoy the long ball today. Dominic Brown and Tommy Joseph have both gone yard. And now as we begin the bottom of the 8th inning, the Yankees will turn to the bullpen one more time. Brandon Pinder, 42 games last year in the minor leagues. 2-6, a 2.74 ERA.
Phillies are going to finish it up with left-hander Jeremy Horst.
Yeah, overall, not too bad of a day for the Phillies pitchers. You know, Zach Miner did give up a 2-run home run, but didn't do too badly. Kyle Kendrick gave up the 1 run in his first outing. So the starters now wheels 2 runs in 8 innings of work.
Yeah.
First go around.
And 1 more to go.
John Lannon will pitch tomorrow when the Phillies head to Fort Myers. As Mayberry fouls it away, it's 0-2. You can hear that game tomorrow on Phillies.com. John Schaefer, Matt Province, and Larry Anderson will call the action. John and Matt from the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs. It was good to see those guys here today.
Yeah, 2 really nice guys hanging out off to our left over there watching the ball game and looking forward to doing the game tomorrow, working with Larry. They were already trying to guess who the umpires may be tomorrow because that could come into play. They didn't say that. I did.
Swing and a miss. 1 out here in the 8th inning. Mayberry struck out. And that'll bring Pete Orr to the plate for the first time. Pinder last year started the season in the Florida State League. 41 games. That's where he picked up the 9 saves. He pitched in 1 game in Trenton in the Eastern League. And Orr, towering fly ball, short center. Looks like Velasquez, the second baseman, was calling for it for a moment. But the center fielder makes the catch. That's Adonis Garcia, and there are 2 outs. And that'll bring Josh Fields to the plate. And there's John and Matt. Matt is to the left, John's to the right with that Iron Pigs logo. They're doing a little game prep right now.
Yep.
Big league preparation.
They sure are.
You get a chance to listen to their games. They do an outstanding job. And Matt's also the director of media relations for the Iron Pigs, doing both. Here's Fields. Swing and a miss. It's 0-1. They spent the day in there. There's Forrest, the day in that booth, you know, with Sarge. Giving him the lowdown.
Yeah, they got the cheesesteaks delivered. They got Pete and Shorty's.
Yeah, I think Sarge may have over-ordered today. Cheesesteaks from Delco's here at the ballpark. Pete and Shorty's. The sliders, the burgers. 0-2 the count to Fields and the pitch. Inside it, nearly got him. And a strikeout to wrap up this 8th inning. An impressive spring debut for Pinder. 1-2-3 go the Phillies. Time for the 9th. The Phillies have the lead, and they'll hand it off to Jeremy Horst. Get all the news that Philly fans need to know, including that guy, on Sports Night every night at 6 and 10 only on Comcast Sportsnet. There he is. He found himself on television, got himself out from underneath, so we saw the entire outfit. Wheels, he put it all together today. That's the tornado, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
boy, tornado.
I was going to say, you almost saw one today.
Almost saw one. That's exactly right. Oh, we go to the top of the ninth inning. Phil's looking for their first spring training victory. Jeremy Horst will take over on the mound. Jeremy Horst had himself a very good year last year. You know, folks didn't know a whole lot about him when the Phillies acquired him from the Cincinnati Reds. What fans did know is that they traded away a very popular player in Wilson Valdez. And Jeremy didn't begin the year with the Phillies, but certainly made a lasting impact.
Did a very good job to the point where you're going to spring training with him one of the favorites to make the club.
I would agree with you. I would agree.
Unless something just doesn't work out or other guys pass him down here.
Fly ball left center field. Dominic Brown will give way to John Mayberry out toward the track. So one out here in the ninth inning. Last year, Jeremy Horst in 32 games had an ERA of 1.15. He was 2-0. He allowed 21 hits in 31 1/3. Also had 40 strikeouts during that time. Philly spent a lot of the year looking for an additional left-hander to Antonio Bastardo. And it was nice that they found one within the system. Here's Adonis Garcia. Garcia singled his first time up.
Not a whole lot of strategy in these games, but they are guarding the line at third with a left-handed pitcher and a right-handed hitter. That's about all I got for you.
And throw strikes.
Keep it out of the wind.
There's Ashe over toward the line. 0-2 the count.
The way it's blowing right now, ground balls are better, as has been shown in the last few innings with them starting to fly out of here.
We've seen 3 long home runs. J.R. Murphy hit one for the Yankees. He's on deck. Dominic Brown hit one for the Phillies. That was the longest of the 3. And then Tommy Joseph, I would think, was the second longest.
That was a long one.
Yeah.
There's nothing cheap about any of them.
Now the 0-2 pitch. Ground ball left side. Freddie Galvis. Ooh, nice hop. Throws on the run. And there are 2 outs.
He makes nice hops. He just... That guy can really play the infield. Just the way he circles the ball. You can, as an infielder, if you're as good as him, you can make hops for yourself and then time it. And watch how he just circles and lays back a little bit. He knows what he has there. Then it took a little hop, as you said, nice hop off the cutout right there. But here he comes, he circles a little bit. And the idea of that is to be able to get a lot of momentum behind your throw.
That'll bring J.R. Murphy to the plate. And it's no balls and 1 strike. Well, Jeremy Horst has come out throwing strikes. There's no doubt about that.
Yep.
Center field. Mayberry's out there toward the track, toward the wall, and it's off the base of the wall.
Baby.
Fortunately, that was more of a line drive than the shot he hit before.
It was actually out off the end of the bat a little bit, too, thankfully. It didn't make that same sound, but with the wind blowing the way that it is, it just picked it up.
So the tying run is at second base now with 2 outs.
Right there, he got another good swing at it. Now, see if it doesn't hit off the end of the bat a little bit. Yep. That's the difference in the one that he hit over the wall and the one there that he hits to the base of the wall is where he hit it on the bat.
Third baseman Walter Ibarra.
Now he probably barrels this one. Oh,
What a sound.
Well, now Walter Ibarra with 2 outs and a runner at second. Ibarra struck out his first time up. He's 0 for 1. 0-1 the count. Oh, and 2.
Trying to get that little 2-out, 2-strike enthusiasm working.
Here's the 0-2. Inside, 1 and 2. Better this time. Right side, Josh Fields, a diving grab. He knocked it down. Horst wasn't there, and the base runner is safe.
Catch it in the air?
I thought he caught it. He must have dropped it. He must not have been able to hold on. Once his body turned, we kind of lost it. And it's going to wind up being a base hit.
Yeah, you said Horst didn't cover first, so the game's over.
I think he thought he caught it too.
Yeah, it looks like he catches it.
I think he had it, and then once he left his feet right there, he dropped it.
Yep, there it is. It's on the ground. Horst thought it was a line drive out, the way we all did, and late getting there.
There it is.
There it is on the ground. Yep.
Would have been good if it would have been nice if the umpire had made the safe sign, just to, whether that would have helped Horst or not.
Could help him a little bit, but probably was late. Give the hitter credit too. He ran it out instead of going, "Oh man, I just hit a BB into an out."
Now Cito Culver, the hitter. Culver grounded out to second, his only time up. And it's 1 ball and no strikes. 4-3 Phillies here in the top of the 9th inning, trying to get that first spring training victory. Fly ball, shallow right field. This should do it. Lance Nix is there, and the Phillies do indeed get their first victory of the spring. They win it by a final score of 4-3. A couple home runs helped the cause of Charlie Manuel. And the Phillies, one by Dominic Brown, and the other one by Tommy Joseph. Dominic's home run brought the Phils within 1, and then Joseph's 2-run shot able to give the Phillies the lead, and they hung on here in the 9th inning. So 4-3, the final score. The Phillies win it. They come from behind twice to defeat the New York Yankees.
Yeah, it's a lot cleaner game today, too. It had been a little bit sloppy the first couple days, especially defensively. And, a pitcher having a big inning with a crooked number and those kind of things today is a little bit better. The Yankees out-hit them, but the Phillies made a lot of good plays in the infield, plays that maybe they hadn't been making before. And that, to me, was a big difference today.
I thought Cody Ashley played very well over at third base. He had a lot of action in his first start of spring training, and he looked very comfortable, not only leaving his feet, but also moving around the bag over at third base.
Yeah, a lot of balls hitting the infield today. And then Freddie coming into the game, Galvis, he's just fun to watch.
Yeah, Freddie Galvis did well, too, over at shortstop for the Phillies. So the Phillies win it by a final score of 4-3. As we said, Dominic Brown pulled the Phils within 1 with a home run. And then Tommy Joseph took care of the rest, and Murph will take care of him down on the fields.
Absolutely. It was a big shot, the first one of the spring for this man right here. That had to feel pretty good coming off the bat, huh?
Yeah, it was real fun. To do something that special in front of these fans here, it's pretty awesome.
It gets the Phils the first win of the spring, and I know wins and losses in spring aren't all that important, but, it always feels good to walk off the field a winner, does it not?
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, that's what they teach here. They teach us to win. So when we can do it during the spring training, kind of get a flow going, that's what we want to do.
Talk a little bit about your experience here. Obviously, your name has been a hot topic, ever since you joined the organization. You're getting a chance for the first time to really play with these guys. How's it been for you so far, and what's your mindset as you're in the spring?
It's been an absolute blast. A bunch of great guys, great clubhouse. You couldn't ask for anything more from the coaching staff. They're always there to help, and to play for a guy like Charlie Manuel, who's been in the game for so long and done so many great things, it's a true honor to be here with everybody.
And a chance, as it continues on in spring, to catch some of these guys that I would imagine you watched as a youngster, even for some of these guys, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you got Cy Young Award winners all over the clubhouse. You got all-stars. Just to be in the same clubhouse with them, and then to even get to play on the field with them it's unbelievable. It's a great experience.
Well, you helped get their first win of the spring. Congratulations, Tommy Joseph. Thanks for stopping by. Guys, we'll send it back upstairs.
All right, Murph, thank you very much. Hopefully it's the first of many home runs the Phillies see from Tommy Joseph as they win it today 4-3. We'll be back to Clearwater to wrap things up right after this.